He was an oddball, that's for sure. He was even an oddball around here, and that's a challenge. Never knew his real name. We called him Brainy. Don't know why, it sure didn't suit him. As a kid, Brainy was kind of shy. He liked to hide behind tractors. And he got involved in sports, usually as a projectile in a game they called Let's Toss Brainy. Then, at the age of 14, Brainy Clogfield shocked the whole Possum Lake community when he ran off to join the circus.
But I thought circus life would be too rough for Brainy. I'd been a featured performer with Ringling Brothers. I would swallow a sword upside down while traversing the high wire, doing a headstand on a unicycle seat. Hardly anybody was doing that back then. I was also courting the bearded lady, but on our third date, she had a very upsetting surprise for me. So I broke it off. I never thought in my wildest dreams that Brainy could survive that environment. So when he turned out to be a slapple, the three-legged clown, nobody could believe it.
When Brainy realized that being a freak was a brilliant career move, it was a turning point in his life. Pretty soon he bought the old Strain mansion and turned it into a museum of bizarre items that he'd collected during his travels as a circus clown. Brainy fell out of public favor when he went on just a little bit too far. He made a display which is all about the human reproduction system. He made it out of 700 pounds of cheddar cheese and the hydraulics off a front-end loader.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Brainy Clogfield, I probably wouldn't be here. I remember my parents went to his exhibit on human reproduction, and boy, the penny must have dropped because that was the night I was conceived. That and my dad bought a front-end loader.
There was a huge public outcry complaining about the exhibit. They said it was vulgar and obscene, and it was killing local cheese sales. Then one night, Brainy disappeared. Not even a note. Just his third leg lying on a chair. Nobody ever saw Brainy after that. The police had nothing to go on. People had been staring at his third leg for so long, they forgot what his face looked like. The APB described him as a two-legged clown who cheats people, and there were just too many suspects. You know, other than about a week in October, I basically did nothing last year, and I was fine with that. But even though I was doing nothing, my mind was still thinking about stuff. Stuff that I hadn't done and should have. Stuff that I had done and shouldn't have. But mainly it was coming up with a lot more evidence that, as far as I'm concerned, proves that I'm right and almost everybody else is wrong. And that was fine too, but where I made my mistake was that I shared all that with my friends and especially my wife. And before you knew it, they were suggesting that I gather up all those opinions and stories and take them on the road where they belong. I even went to see my doctor to make sure I was healthy enough to tour again, and he gave me the go-ahead. He said I probably wouldn't get sick on the road, but even if I did, he'd prefer I was thousands of miles away when it happened. So I put together a brand new show, and I'm calling it I'm Not Old, I'm Ripe. And we're going to be doing about 25 cities, starting in St. Pete, Florida on March the 30th, and we're going to end up in the middle of May somewhere out west. It's basically a lodge meeting, and if you want to find out where I'm going to be and when I'm going to be there, go to redgreen.com, click on the city that's nearest to you. I'm hoping you can all make it, or I'm hoping a few of you can make it. I think it's going to be my best show yet, and if you saw the first two, you know that's certainly doable. So looking forward to a successful tour. Otherwise, my friends and my wife are going to look like idiots. Until then, I'm hoping to see you at the lodge meeting. And meanwhile, keep your stick on the ice.